exception to that shared commitment you're describing among the Democratic caucus is, of course, Joe Lieberman, who has been promising for weeks to join a Republican filibuster if the Senate bill includes a public option. Now Ben Nelson of Nebraska also making noises that he might join Joe Lieberman and the Republicans with the same strategy. What do you think will be the response to that? And do you think the bill that will come to the floor will have a public option?
First of all, I think we move forward. We met with Leader Reid today. The overwhelming support in the Democratic caucus, at least as Chairman Harkin thinks, 55 votes out of 60 are for the public option. We're not going to let the tail wag the dog here, the 3 or 4 members who don't support it. And what it comes down to is this. Everybody votes to bring it to the floor. We have the debate for a couple of weeks, however long it takes. And during that process, anybody that's opposed to certain things has a chance to amend it. And I think by the end, I can't obviously speak or commit for my colleagues, but I think in the end, the people who are less supportive of the public option than some of us, I think they don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I think that they're going to have great difficulty in their own minds and their own hearts voting to kill the most important issue of their careers on a procedural vote. They can vote against the legislation, fine, but don't kill this on a procedural vote. And I think that Joe and Ben, and again, I can't speak for them, but I think in the end that they're going to understand the importance of this after they've had their chance to amend the bill in these 2 or 3 weeks on a straight, fair, up or down vote. Make your arguments against the public option. We'll make our arguments for it. I think our arguments clearly have won in the court of public opinion and will win in the Senate. And then I think they vote for cloture on the procedural issue, then final passage. We only need 51 votes, and we'll get significantly more than that.
I also want to ask you about something that emerged last week as a potentially major divisive issue for Democrats, and that is, of course, the issue of abortion. House progressives have made it clear that Congressman Stupak's abortion amendment is a bit of a poison pill, describing it, frankly, in the way that I see it, which is a way to use health reform to further restrict access to abortion. How serious of a threat is that abortion issue to passing health reform in the Senate?
Well, I don't think it's a threat at all. I think that there are no more than 4 or 5 senators, the Democratic senators, that you would say that I would say are anti-choice. There are, I think, 2 Republicans that are pro-choice. So again, on an up or down vote, Harry Reid's not going to put the Stupak language in the bill, I'd be certain. I've not spoken to him, but I'd be certain on that. Then the Republicans will try to amend it in the bill, and they will be unsuccessful. They won't get even close to 50 votes on trying to amend it into the bill. Diana DeGette, the House Democrat from Denver, who has been a great leader on this issue, as she has on a lot of health care issues, diabetes and other things. Diana told me on the phone over the weekend that she's convinced the House can pass it without the Stupak language because, again, it's such an important issue, and that's why we get elected. I mean, that's why we run for office, is to do things as important as health care. And I just feel so privileged. I was in Oberlin over the weekend and was talking to some old friends, and I just said, I feel so privileged to be here in the Senate at this time when we can do what people in this government have tried to do for 75 years, what people in this country have wanted to do for decades, to finally pass health insurance reform. So those people from New Orleans that MSNBC has shown, people like from New Orleans to Cleveland to Toledo to Dayton, will finally get health insurance and won't have to worry about pre-existing condition and having insurance companies drop them from their coverage because they got sick and it costs too much money.
Senator Sherrod Brown, Democrat of Ohio, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Always.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Senator Brown, you will see that quote from Senator Brown tomorrow in the news. Whatever it takes. Also describing Senator Reid as, at least in Senator Brown's perception, he's certain not to include the Stupak language in the bill, making some news here.